Okay, so, hello guys, it's me Gaming Star here, and today I am back with another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Tribulations. Trials and Tribulations. Last time, we had basically finished up the investigations for the entire game. All investigations are done. And, yeah, finish up investigations, got rid of all Cyclops, and, well, this time we're gonna go ahead and, start the final trial. I'm not sure if I might split it up into, because how long this trial takes. A three-parter is 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3. I'm not sure if I'll split it, but we'll find out. But let's see. I think I might do it all in one go, but let's not waste any more time and get into it. Let's go. Let's finish up this goddamn game, baby. Woohoo! I really want to do it. All right, let's go. February 10th, 9:39 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's going to happen to Mystic Maya? I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed to enter her temple. Oh, I see. So Sister Edie's still trying to remove those trick locks into the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not in the defendants here in the defendants lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Edie, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Edie doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Edie's going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what?! The prosecutor is squeezing her for confession, or so I heard. Francisca von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Gado? Gado? Francisca is engaged in some important work in the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Gada intends to nail his case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. It's gonna be a long one, but we're gonna get into it. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not in the same fever-ridden frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all of this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. The greatest style you can ever have. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Deluxia? No, I mean Miss Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. Morgan's involvement, and what that woman is really after. Morgan. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Woo, let's go! This case! February 10th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 7. God damn, let's get this case over with, bro! I really want to get... Court is now session for the trial of Edie Hazagura Temple. Your Honor? What are you... Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Oh no! Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So there, brothers, that explains a lot. My poor brother, he looked a bit pale. Not to mention sad, but he couldn't be here. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. It's precisely what people feel the need to judge the past. And we in the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Gada. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Gada, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant, the crazy world. Alright. The bitter darkness that lies in the bottom of this mug. So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has a change of heart. Sister Edie of Hazagura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Edie's. Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hasakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes, but first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Denuxium? Or Misty Faye? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after that murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hasakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. What? Mario, what are you doing looking at me like that? Mario! Order the court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. What? 3 minutes in the court and I'm already covered in the cold sweat. Huh. Everyone in the planet is accomplice to something. It just happens to be that this case is to murder. Is that right, Mr. Trent? Get up. So it's confession they were referring to. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Edie's testimony was all a lie. Edie's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? This was covering for someone? Now I'm definitely up to the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at Hasakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hasakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but the main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if I needed to be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Hey. Wake up and smell the coffee, Right. She's naming Maya! Oh god, what the fuck, bro? Oh, this case. Order in the court. This might be the last episode of this entire trilogy. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping it is, so let's go. Not only did the witness the murder, but you know the name of the murderer? I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes, and then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. Bitch, no! That's ridiculous! My voice cracked! My voice cracked! Oh my god, it cracked so badly! The defense will refrain from commenting until appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared to the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going this direction. My voice cracked so badly, oh my god, my voice... Holy shit, did you guys hear my voice crack? Oh my god, it was so bad. What the fuck? I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. Is it Mystic Misty, though? While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Misty moved and delivered a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it was a self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's odd. But wait, here's the thing. Mother and daughter. That's odd. Why would the mother attack the daughter? It's just so weird. That's so odd. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Edie's never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Edie's even admitted. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Oh god, alright. I don't know how long this will... I think it'll be around 2 hours, because I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Alright, the real murderer. Uno, dos, tres, pressy baby! She moved to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Nuxium tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Faye? Yes, exactly. Huh. God damn it, God, what the fuck did you... It looked like it did after mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with his testimony? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client! Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me! I'm gonna tell they're ready for me to eat later. Okay, now let's continue so I can get ready when this trial. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. The victim's staff. But wait a minute. Oh. She literally has a big-ass fucking sword. Objection! Sister Edith, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Mr. Nuxium throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. What you can do with a staff just hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Edith, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. Ah! If Elisa Nuxium really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Now, but she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Damn, if only I could have a weapon like that, that'd be cool as fuck. Well, Sister Edith, what do you have to say? Bro. Ooh, boyo. That was an impressive bit of investigation. Right. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that stuff. But even so, should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger of her blade. Well. Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't less important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright? I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. This witness would have never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Because Elise... Damn, she's 49. Bro, damn, she's 49, wow. I thought she'd be older, but damn, she's 49, wow, that's actually pretty young. Misty Fey! Elise Nuxium would have never attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Nuxium. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? No. Not Mystic Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? She related to... Misty Fey is the master of Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Oh, yeah. Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Oh, you know. Don't lie to me. So it's next time actually the great mystic Misty? Don't fucking lie, you know. Don't fucking lie. There's no doubt about it. Kitty's had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, the one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Gah! Why? Unless she did for some sort of crazy plan? The 17 years and counting? But nah. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented. One, that victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight. And two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable and taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Yeah, it does actually. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard his witness confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that a dagger with the witness testified seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you notice something else? It has blood. Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Oh shit, blood, boy. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree in the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? The dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending a violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood in the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Were you even listening, old man? I first heard his confession this morning, as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Did you just say it was the 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get to the blood analysis in short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger's evidence. Furthermore, I ordered that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to crime lab for testing immediately. Dagger found behind the tree in the inner temple garden. The blood is being analyzed now. Now then, the testimony we just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger that witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Oh god. Cute girls never lie. Ever. Oh, they fucking do. I've seen it, bro. Girls can lie. And if with this case, you could please testify against this court. About that, Your Honor. About the incident you saw? The battle between the two women? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, I meant to say. Because I can't do my fucking voice right sometimes. You know? It fails me. But alright. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over in the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack as the weapon. Wait, hit in the head with a fucking staff? But that is a literal sword. She would literally be sliced in the head. Excuse me, what? She'd literally be sliced in the fucking head. if the sword, if it was... Oh my god. Or if it was just like the wood, like the sheath. Okay, I don't know. So I could have stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one in defensive, with her back on the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, and then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it's been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. Bullshit! That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with the cross-examination. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. But here's the thing about Elise's autopsy report, or Misty's autopsy report. In Misty's autopsy report, she says she was stabbed in the back, not in the front. She was stabbed in the back. So she was stabbed in the back, not in the front. It says caused loss of blood from stab in the back. Body fell 10 feet after death. That's literally impossible. Like, you know, how do you stab someone in front even though they had stabbed back in the stab? Stabbed in the back. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Objection! Something about you just isn't right today, Edis. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach. Right. Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. Ah! This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Edis, it appears the motor-seed dust sprouted from your testimony. Ah! What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like books. We've got all from them in the back. You get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Bro, could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? Ah, fuck, wrong button. The point is, too much of the testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful staff, the people fighting being a mother and daughter? And now she falsely claims that the victim was stabbed in the stomach? There certainly are inconsistencies. Well, Edis, what about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? Oh, we're 20 minutes in, bros. We're not even that far in. It's already getting crazy. There are 253 distinct types of bitters in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration of these of all senses. Were you really concentrating with all this witness actually said? Prosecutor Gata, explain yourself! The witness was quite ambiguous without her ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light. Because remember, the eye reflects light. By the way, did you know? Hasakuta has a rule that the knights with accolades in their temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Ah, God. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If that staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right? Right! No! Oh, boyo. Shoot. Odd. Here, Your Honor, let me present the stone lantern to evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame and truth in your mind. A lamp from the lantern in the temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. You can see that obviously he doesn't even notice the blood. Obviously he's never going to notice it because he's colorblind. Red. He can't see red. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Is that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. He doesn't even fucking notice. Oh, why is it written in blood? Oh boy, he noticed, so the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down! What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her. The blood that was draining out of her body. What the fuck? It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you talking about? What do you mean, what are you talking about? We are talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all. Hey, you guys remember Recipe for Turnabout? Hey, you guys remember Recipe for Turnabout where in that, you guys remember Recipe for Turnabout where like, you know, like the apron, like he couldn't see the ketchup, he couldn't see the red. He couldn't see the ketchup on it. He can't see red because remember, he's colorblind to red. He cannot see red. Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with this huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Yeah, he's colorblind to red. So that's what he meant by that. Funny, because he actually wore red and he was... Slip of the tongue! In any case, it's obviously an important clue. We know this crime scene was dark, and the victim scrawled his message in stone lantern. Well, Mr. Gata, any further? Mr. Gata? Okay, then. Let's move on. Gata is literally shaking, and somehow I don't even think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Mr. Nexium was killed by Maya Fey. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. Okay, here we go. Sister East's cover-up. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future of Master Dekarine tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. And then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hasukura Temple and... I used the Shido to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at Hasukura Temple. I owe a great deal thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Nuxian was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but... You were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Sister Edie's cover-up. Here we go. Let's ask about the tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... The snowmobile! I knew that would somehow show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hasukura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part I was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Ask about the tracks. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally, you would expect tracks. The picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hasukura Temple. I see. So snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, I had already stopped. That's why they were such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? It is very important. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make any sense stack up against all the evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Edie's just made added to testimony. But does that have something to do with the case? It'll be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Huh, this should be fun. Caffeine overdose. Sooner or later. Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Contradiction! What their date then? Let's check. Let's see. Snow 7 to approximately 10:50. Lightning to 10, approximately to 11. Snow with occasional lightning strikes. That's actually pretty rare. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45, around 30 minutes passed between the fires starting out and going out. The snow had stopped at 10:50, and that's before the murder. So... Objection! Fuck! Wrong statement, no! By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. What? I literally put it up! On the fourth statement, 1, 2, 3, 4, I dragged all the way to the Dusky Bridge. That's the fourth statement. There we go. Damn it, I put the wrong statement. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Edie. That just isn't possible. I messed up on the fucking statement. I thought it was that statement. I was too confident. Damn it, bro. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire? You didn't know it was on fire? Bro, we fell on that bridge! You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? Because I certainly did. It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you tried to deceive to conceal the truth. You can't pull the wool over the eyes of the real defense attorney! No! Broski. Order the court! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple is already totally cut from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contempt is you. Old man. Me? How dare you! Whether this witness lied or don't doesn't squat to it, no. To squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it's snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Nexium was discovered in the hospital at Temple Courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini. The witness Edie is desecrating Elise Nexium's body. He makes a good point on both accounts. That's right. I'm not lying. Then why are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You have stood at the witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us that your memory of the night is hazy? It's only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trite, maybe you can explain this to the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge. It was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Ugh! Well, not exactly, no. There must be some other way she crossed the burnt-down bridge, but unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. I think I know. Looks like the defense. You guys remember Larry's sketch? So, in other words, you're in position to suggest his late testimony isn't the truth. Ugh! My Nutella is ready for me to eat, but not now. Alright then, witness. I just had a peanut butter sandwich. It was good. With some next week. It's kind of your combo, but alright. About which, that's also my breakfast for today. You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a large inconsistency. Please add the explanation to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be your final testimony? Woohoo! Moving the body. Alright, here we go. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that isn't the way to cross a burning bridge? Falling down. Damn it. Such a misunderstanding, I see. There's a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the blast. It must have taken the morning after the incident. Ooh. It certainly was burnt to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. It's actually amazing, though, considering, Phoenix literally crossed that fucking burning bridge. Clearly it would have been possible to carry a corpse across the bridge in that condition, unless he fell down. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be the dangerous truth, and Maya will be accused of murder. Trite, I'm only going to say it one more time. It was only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please correct final cross-examination. Alright, 1. Present any of Larry's sketches and any of his statements. Actually, I think there was. Look at Larry's sketch. Horrible sketch that we saw the night of the crime. It's actually not that bad. Actually, the sketch is actually not that bad. As an artist myself, I can say the sketch is actually not that bad at all. It's actually pretty good. Even though the bridge doesn't look very good, the fire actually looks pretty good, though. I'm not gonna lie. The fire itself looks pretty cool. So anyway. Every sketch! A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. Only thing it's possible has been your claim that's full of thin air up your ass. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Who is it? Who's this witness? I can't chicken out here. I gotta keep on attacking. Go, go, go. Miss Lisa Vexia's brilliant, a highly gifted apprentice. Larry Denuxi. Brilliant, highly gifted. Apprentice? I love this. Remember when he said in his testimony? That night when he was at the mountain shack, Heavenly Hall. And that was when he witnessed the event. I think you've seen it, the sketch before. It's the exact drawing we witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? That's only a few months. Are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? Are you using the pathetic scribbles to support your argument? The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Huh. Well, trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now, other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old boy. Does the sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're going to turn this case upside down, let's start with the sketch. Upside down. Why did Geralt say that? Wait. Alright, let's hear the... I actually said it was upside down. It's actually the sketch trying to show. I don't think the old whisker face can forgive me mistakes. A complete contradiction. Exactly what happened. Is a complete contradiction. Something's obviously funny about the sketch. I'm the art critic, but even I can't see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Lord Synexium stated over and over that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're believed this testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like we're back to a finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trent. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? This, because you guys remember how it's broke? This. The left wire. This is the wire connected to the bridge. The wire. Is that thing that contradicts reality? Yes, it is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us the reality contradicts Dusky Bridge photo because he sees that one of them is broken. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Oh yes, now compare the sketch to the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping jet fight! The wires are below the guard wires! What? God damn it, I love those reactions. Okay, here we go. On the court! The sketch is somewhat different from the depicted in the photo. However, this isn't like the artist just thought it's wrong. Or perhaps he just drew it wrong. Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. No. With someone like Loris, admitting a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? That's the reason. He was upside down. You say you know the answer to that. Because he was, he was laying down, right? And when he was doing that, you guys know that when you're laying down, he was trying to sketch it just as he was... When he saw it, it was upside down the way he saw it. Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing waiting for this event? He was lying in bed. Or lying on the floor. He was in a heavenly hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He went in and waited, and finally he laid down. He was laying down. But then, lightning shot from the sky and set the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Loris must have been at the time. He was lying on his back, which made me remember to see him that way. He did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates, but it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! No way. Loris Synexium witnessed the event when he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down! Coquito, what are you doing here, my boy? So then, the sketch should have actually be... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Loris Synexium's sketch is like this. There you go! This is how it should actually look like. I literally said that before. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right! Just like a pendulum! Ridiculous! I love that. On! Of all things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found in the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. But wait, there was someone else on the other side to grab it. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. So get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead! The lightning strike that caused night have only been accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. Yeah, it doesn't. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using that was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think that either the autopsy report or crystal sphere? It doesn't really matter. So let's go with the sphere. So you guys remember how she has like a 10 feet fall? Well, let's go with the crystal sphere for now. What do you think, Mr. Gatto? I think Mr. Trice looking there's no rope around, huh? Even if I just had a silver rope, I better be wrapping it nice tight around his neck. I should have figured when I was going to this case. Damn it, long one. There's no evidence. Damn it, wrong one. The autopsy report. Because you guys know how she has like the oh, wrong. Oops, it was the wrong one. The Dusky Bridge photo. Damn it, I actually chose the wrong evidence. Alright, the Dusky Bridge photo. Taken the moment after the crime. So you see that there's a rope. Here we go. And that meaning of this, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right here in front of your glorious beard. Yeah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck, the bridge is set on fire. Later, it was actually supposed to be later that you show either the sphere or the autopsy report. Oops, my bad. Couldn't lose his anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around at least enough to his body. The fuck? Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Mario! My boy! Mr. Gaddot! It seems that Mr. Gaddot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of the ropes being readily available were very high, so I suppose it's not an impossibility after all. Impossible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did it really happen? Right! I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any evidence to support this swung like a pendulum? Either the autopsy report or the crystal sphere. This time it's the autopsy report or the crystal sphere. This time it is. So it doesn't really matter this time. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's one of the one that has found the inner temple. So there's a spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. And actually, I noticed it because it was gone. Now let's consider the body's movement by looking overhead the map again. The body was pushed from this point here over to the other side. It would drop on the opposite bank approximately at that point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body in either bank. What makes you think something like that happens? Because I have evidence it's just her body dropped some distance. What's some evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the highest difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum that came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Mr. Lucinexium's staff. And then, even more important place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it was already marked overhead map. The crystal was found. Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would have arrived given the right amount of speed. We have science. But you very quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a body of movement that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright! I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Gadot? That was a dark and bitter guess that made you mage, right? But you forgot about one thing. Oh, what would that be? The aroma. Huh? What aroma? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is a deep, profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to either side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice! The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What does that have to say about that, right? Mr. Gadot is correct. It's the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what we must do? Yes, Your Honor. The body is made of an accomplice. Very well, then, if you please, Mr. Wright. What is the person? Let's go to side. Edie's. It can only be you, Sister Edie's. Ah! But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up the body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Hey, Mario. Trite, you have ever listened to the witness testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was the one clean up duty in her temple garden after her mother-daughter bloodbath. I have forgotten, but have you, Mr. Gadot? This witness was also seen at Haskuda Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim! Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Edith, let me ask you something. Why didn't you just mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness. I have established but how the body was moved by using a burnt-out bridge, which means it was now the fact that's this occurrence. Something you've already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along without her side thought sure help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Edie's to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Edie's of Haskuda Temple? Not at all. Are you serious? Trite. You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Edith that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. No, I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. Wrong button, damn it, I didn't mean to press that. Then what's just standing there at the witness stand? The real name is... Talia Harford! I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time. Dahlia Harford. Harford. Sister Edie's had a twin sister. And you're looking at her. Miss Dahlia Harford. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. The file contains all the relevant data from Dahlia Harford. Oh yes, I remember now. That case. 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Harford. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Your honor. The honor is all mine! No, the honor is mine! But, according to this, Dahlia Harford is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning to this courtroom! What? Odd! Wait a moment. How can you? My sister! She's already dead! What kind of... Mario, what are you doing? You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Quran channeling technique flows within that body. The Quran channeling technique. Never have I heard that. That's right, you're not Dahlia Harford herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Harford just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister, Edis, was. If that you're going to put that thing that way, then yes. 50 minutes in hardy shit, bro. You're supposed to believe a coincidence just that happens? Oh, yes, actually. No, not really, but naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of the plan from the very beginning. It was written right here in these instructions. Oh, what's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And a part of the plan from Dahlia Harford to be channeled that night, there were 2 EDCs at Hasukura Temple. 2 of them? Even though the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell. In other words, 10 p.m. However, Edis has seen it before dinner time. That means that Edis that was at dinner was the real Edis. And that Edis who gave me the hood in the main hall was also the real Edis. Meaning that the Edis' sister Bikini saw the inner temple. So many EDCs. But someone who dressed as her namely was Dahlia Harford. Shit. Do you even know what you're saying, Trent? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Harford business. Yes, it's true that she found plans to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's pretty clear. The witness currently standing, the witness standing is the real Edis. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini and Dahlia Harford had been channeled, would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by a pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Edis that received the body was the real Edis. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hasukura Temple's main hall. They found Edis in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at Detention Center. Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Phew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems way off. It's not because Edis here's the same one from the other night. Huh. I suppose you're not going to say something ridiculous. Like the real Edis and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue this trial. Edis doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at the temple, had there been any other EDCs? Places with Dahlia Harford? There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. One? Explain yourself. Yesterday for a few minutes, Edie's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time that Edie was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect even time freely? I'm sorry. I know I didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave you the free time about was... We're sorry, Edgeworth. Edgeworth, man. I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I'm sorry, bro. This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? Edgeworth is known to be scared of earthquakes. Earthquake? Oh my goodness. The inner temple just kind of turned my... How could I have? She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Edie's was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by another than Dahlia Harford. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now, see here! No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of it. Be quiet. It's Dahlia! been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice! Guess I'll have to ask again. She reveals herself, promising a beautiful lady. Always gonna ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Bro. Dahlia Harford. In my current profession, permanently retired. Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Harford. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it for her and for myself. Alright, we're gonna continue on because I really want to finish up this goddamn case. I know it's gonna be a very long episode, but I mean, come on. Have you seen the last episodes of my previous Let's Plays, previous Ace Attorney Let's Plays? They're long. They're like an hour or two long. So really, we're gonna continue on because you know what? I want to finish this up. Let's go. Let's continue on with this trial. Part 2. Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness? Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems that if you were to learn the truth, well, need to hear your testimony. I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about what the plan was carried out that night. The plan. The whole plan began with my death. The stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have blame pinned on Edie's. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. So that means you really are... Wait a minute! Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay? Yes, you have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense! There's no way that... Watch yourself, Wright. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's only one of my rules. Mr. Gadow's correct. By the way, that's also one of my rules as well. To kill Maya. Could it be true? Alright, we have to press every single statement. Let's go. You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged, but it wasn't exactly pleasant. How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay? Last year. She was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row, she was my mother. It was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan. Ha! Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl Fay the master of Karai. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on the plan. The plan, huh? A stupid plan has been Morgan Fay. Alright, here we go. You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct? Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister Edie's. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her. Along with our father. Abandoned? The only person I've ever really cared about in my life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at Old Temple. You mean Edie's? Yes, my father married a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? On top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. How horrible. The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto the poor child's back. All because of prophetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. What do you mean Maya had to die? Maya would have to die? But why? For our bloodline to succeed in the main family, thus making Pearl the new master, the remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearls would have never agreed to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad if you still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous! She was willing to sacrifice anything to anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter. And naturally, the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? What a horrible mother. Okay. Next. You were going to kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. And I would have simply used her body and finished her job. In any case, and I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin. On Sister Edie's of Haskuda Temple. She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were here to witness me killing Maya, except for the hair color, but really though, is it natural? I think she dyed her hair. I'm pretty sure she dyed her hair red. Maybe her hair's not even naturally red. Maybe it's just dyed. I'm not sure. Had done it. Hold on, let me check. Hang on, let me check again. And Sister Bikini. Let me check again. Her eyebrows. Yeah, they're the same color as EDC, so she definitely did dye her hair at some point. Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Haskuda Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Edie's crime anyway. But why do you want to pin the murder on Edie in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? Do I care? Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. The plan went wrong, and it seems to have succeeded anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just as the woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. That is the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey. No! That's absurd! She's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're just as foolish optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Fenny. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivety and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already. Didn't I? It was a stupid plan. I had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. That's how you feel? Why did you help her carry it out then? Why would you do it? Why do you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not yet appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So tell me, why? Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only acted in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Harthorn, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Do you understand why I had to kill Maya Fey now? What my goal was? If you guys were with me or at least played the first episode and the fourth episode, which is Turnabout Beginnings and Turnabout Memories, Mia Fey. Objection. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? It was Mia. As I said, none of you had the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead. You can't take revenge against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone? I sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. Then the reason it was impossible. Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died? Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, It lives on. Forever. I want to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I want to kill her with my own hands. It would be the only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. Even though she's already dead herself? Bro, you're both dead. You want to take revenge on someone who's already dead? The fuck? It's like double dead. That was the one reason I helped out that woman's plans. Just for what? Should you kill Maya? Your goal has no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's true. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into his world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put the demon warding hood. Then I picked up that staff that was by my side and left Hazukura Temple. So it was at least Inoxium who channeled her after all. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her pearl back. What did you do then? That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern, and then I took the dagger and got from storeroom in. Wait a minute. Why do I feel this contradiction somewhere? So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory. I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed. At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. Before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she was thinking of that until a bitter end. That's where my memory temporarily stops. It stops? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in a sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. You were in a sacred cavern? The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. I somehow managed to get trapped in there. But she would not be there. I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know where Maya Fey was dead or not, and I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself. For a ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out. The trick lock stopped you. I didn't know how to remove it. So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern? Yes, I wanted to get rid of the annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted. I was in early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall. What? Who? Could have been Maya? Mario! I thought that same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well in the back of the sacred cavern. Wait a minute. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went in there to cover the hanging skull in gravy. Because she didn't know about the reading. So I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. Gumshoe, everybody else. The bridge had been fixed and the police started an investigation. Naturally, I couldn't got out. But instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I couldn't get on the chance of seeing Maya's corpse as I hoped. Just as then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck. After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris. She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was alright. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. and I locked her away in my place. That's how you switch places, you asshole! I finally learned exactly what had happened. It was until then I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed that it was Pearl Fey. Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in your instructions. But I was wrong. The person who had actually called my spirit back was Misty. Misty Fey. That picture book offer. She did it because she knew. I think my theory is that, since, obviously since, she kind of knew. She kind of already knew about it. Because, when Pearl was showing her the plans, because you guys remember the roast, how Pearl couldn't read certain words in the letter? Like this. Specifically Gravely and Roast. She was reading this. And so, because she couldn't read, don't tell anyone about it, Misty was like, oh shit. Misty must have been like, oh shit, she's gonna kill Maya, bro. Oh shit, I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. Oh shit, I'll make sure Pearl doesn't channel her. And so she did it herself. She knew that, so she did it. That's how she knew. What? Oh, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden. It was her body that was left lying there. It was all for Maya. Maya Fey! I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin of a human could commit. And that is... matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. No way! Order the court! What is the meaning of this? It's true that when I was the one who attacked Maya Fey... Oh, fuck, wrong button. But even so... the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Wrong, bitch. Ridiculous! That's nonsense! Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting this fact, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple. That much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. Where? Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else? Eagle River? Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt that she must have felt she realized it? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. She obviously didn't do that. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now? Fanny. Let me go ahead. Let me pause for you guys so you guys listen to this ringtone. I'm gonna pause for a bit. Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. Hang on. It's a really nice ringtone, actually. I like it. I need to have this as my actual ringtone maybe at some point in time. Who knows? I have to download it. I really gotta download this fucking ringtone. What kind of ringtone is that? It's his own theme. It's really cool. I love it. Got out here. Okay, thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the logs from the sacred cavern. That's great! What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Edis. Huh? Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So what about Maya? Where is she? There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern. No, it can't be. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. No. No! It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Nexium, also known as Misty Faye, was her own daughter, Maya Faye. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Faye jumped to her death into the raging waters of Eagle River. It can't be. No. Right. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, no matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean? Prosecutor Gada. According to this witness, Maya Faye threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is it really that truth? Is it? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means Maya had thrown herself into the river. It must have been from the inner temple side, near the bridge. That's right. That's where she jumped out from. Jumped from, I meant to say. Fuck. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. What? Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. Just relax and feign through the whole thing again. So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River. Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hopper claims Miss Faye threw herself into the river from the other side. He refused any of his claim. Hasakura Temple map or Dusky Bridge photo? There's a Hasakura Temple map. So if you look, you can see that if she tried, she will just die right there in the rocks. Just rocks, so it's possible to jump into the river from the inner temple side. No one knows what better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Oh, you're right. She would have reached the river if she had jumped from there. In other words, if she had jumped, she would have been able to see her body in this photo. Ha! Ha! You say you finally figured it out. You. No! We're getting into it, bros. Alright, here we go. Odd! You're just playing with me. My face body's at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else you could possibly be hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. Maya Faye wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there is still one other place she could be. What? What is this one possibility you're talking about? That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then? Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to get Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? I'll tell you the very instant Maya Faye is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What? Maya Faye is here? Say, she's here in my courtroom? Dahlia Hawthorne. It seemed to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see. So what? But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? I tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? What's that? It's just obvious. It's Pearl Faye, that pathetic little slithering runt. You're wrong. Pearl tried, but she couldn't do it. I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. Is there any explanation for why you couldn't channel spirit? It could happen if someone else was started channeling the same spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did, but who? Pearl's even tried again the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer than you right now. Am I correct? Ah! It wasn't Pearl that channeled you. There was someone else who called you before she could. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Faye is gone. There is only one possibility left. Come on already. I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Harford, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Faye! What? Then we have, oh boy. But how could that be? Remember what this Dahlia Harford said about her goal? She said that her goal was to kill Maya Faye. Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone who was trying to kill her, well, Gramps, what's gonna happen? Could it be? It looks like you finally understand. Well, I don't. What are you gonna do about it? What I'm gonna do is gonna reason my challenge. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you. To protect herself? From me? Yes, on the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Faye. The path back to Husgaard Temple was closed off and there was nowhere else for her to run. So then the problem became, where would that safest place to hide? Ah! You mean, that's why she channeled me? All this time you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you! No. Don't say that! You're saying that Dahlia Harford, was played for a fool but a little whelp? Maya Faye killed herself, isn't it obvious? Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. Stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could have never planned like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea? Well, me, of course. Oh, shit! Mia? Mia Faye. It's been a long time, Dahlia Harford. Bro! So it's true. It was you. Yes. There's something else. What? What are you doing here? That hair. It's Pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night one more time. You had just cornered Maya into the inner temple's garden, and then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Faye! Actually, Maya lost her consciousness at the same time as you. She did? Not terribly surprised since she was about to be killed. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in the memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do. She did that? I can't believe it! Of course I didn't have all the details. But one thing was perfectly clear. And that was, I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Harford as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put the lock in there. Yes, but why did you order her to do those things? She had done it. Dahlia Harford would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Faye. Pearls? Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan. So all I was just trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Faye's instructions. She had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Harford's spirit. Things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly. So that's how it was. Dahlia Harford used the body of Pearl Faye to kill Maya at all cost. Yes, it certainly sounds like all this intent at all. How dare you! I won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Harford? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes, another failure to add to a pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another? Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They're all ended in failure. What? How dare you! 11 years ago. The fake kidnapping. To fake kidnap. Your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but... After Terry Falls escaped went to meet Valère Harford, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth! That wasn't my fault! It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner, that weakling of a policewoman! And then, 1 year later, he tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face! And now this. You messed up again! You let Maya Fey escape. Even though she was right there in front of you! Ah! Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Mia Fey! You spinster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. If only I've got a specky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I would have been hanged to death. Mario! True. Mario, shut up! But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hartford. You will never defeat me. What? What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you are destined to lose for all eternity. I remember what you said earlier in this trial. You said there were no way you could punish you because you were already dead. What about it? Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you will never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you will have to remain as Dahlia Hartford, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there is no escape from that. No hope for freedom. Since today you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. You're wrong. It can't be. All this breakdown. How could I lose to the likes of you? Oh my god, this breakdown's amazing. And no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out by his body right now! I'm not doing that. Too much work from my poor throat. Plus, she does it herself anyway, so I don't have to do it. Thanks, Dahlia. I don't have to do shit. I'm not ready. Not ready to go. I'm just let this one play for itself. Nick, sis. Now then, I assume you are the real Edis. Yes, I was rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, It appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Gata, what happened to Dahlia Harford? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from. It seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye as well as the young Pearl Faye were also victims of this wicked, selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt to channel that spirit made to channel a spirit ever again. Your Honor? Yes, what is it? About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite a judgmental. He had to criticize me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concentrated effort to study up the Korean channeling technique. Hey, is this the new issue of Occult? I've seen quite a few things and met my ears to the bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. In each case, it's different. It takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. Never thought of it that way. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment to the case of Edie's Husukadai Temple.
Objection!
What? Ah! And you thought this was the end. Bro, no, it's not the end. It keeps going. A little too fast, that gavel. What do you mean by that, Mr. Gata? This trial isn't over yet. That's what it means. What? Right. Remember when Miss Evil Spirit sent her testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony? I caught up with her in the front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger and got her from the storeroom end. It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. Just as Dahlia Harper was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone. Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed by that spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. At least Denuxium. No, Misty Faye. But, who killed her? We still don't know who did it. This isn't over? Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence. No way. But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. The prosecution is ready to call her first witness. Final witness? This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed. Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor? Ah, fuck, wrong button. Of course it's alright, Madam Attorney. Very well then, who was this final witness? Ha, is it obvious? There's only one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her eyes. You mean Maya? You can't. She can't testify after what she's been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand. Very well, but first we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. We receive doctor's permission. We will proceed with the trial. Hey, Wright, I've got something to say to you. Still listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You've somehow managed to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to have come dashing the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve. But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess. I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day. We didn't even have a chance to talk. She's right. When I met Edie's at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Edie was inside the sacred cavern. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root for you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? Huh? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent the entire day locked up in there. My sister. I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hasukura Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valere, ended up in Fallis. That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people, you must mean, yes, 2 defense attorneys, Mia Fe and Diego Armando, after poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth. Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You. That's right. Edis, there's one more thing I had to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Nexium, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got to the snowmobile and headed to the inner temple, but the bridge, the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Exactly. You can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? And so she grabbed the body. Yeah, that was her. It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Asgard Temple on the snowmobile. She's the one that did that. But why? Why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with a shishito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to the ground. Idiots, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called you a cell phone, the real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. I see. Used the actual weapon. Defendant! Yes? The judge is calling you. He wants you to see you in his chambers. He has a question about Dahlia Hartford. Alright. Well then, I'll see you later. So there's something I want to tell you. Oh, okay. There's something she wants to tell me. So it's true. Edie's cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix. Mia! How's Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. I see. You know me, she learned listening really it was? Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure out the answer by yourself. The trial's about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? You just wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden in a temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. And one more thing. The victim was moved to the hospital temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means that they were stuck in their temple side almost the entire day. Exactly, so the culprit, someone that wasn't in Haskell Temple the following day. That's as much as help the Saint give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win, Phoenix. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was had to prove it. Me all by myself. Alright, let's continue, baby. So technically I could end it off here, but you know what? Fuck it! We're gonna keep going! So you can finish off this goddamn trial. The final day trial. Let's go. Final trial, here we go. Now, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. Test? Yes, test. The one of the bloody dagger was found stuck in a pine tree. Oh yeah, that. Totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Is the victim's blood or... Due to the time constraints, the full test is impossible. However, there's one thing we say for certainty. The blood was not the victim's blood. That's all. Now then, let's restart the trial. So it wasn't Missy's blood on the dagger? Then whose was it? Dagger. That's gonna be important for later. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will find some firm evidence of the claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quick. Agreed. Very well. Please bring in the last witness. Maya's gonna be our witness. Witness, please state your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager in Wright & Co. law offices. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of Korean channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan. I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, Maya. The pain of the Fey bloodline causes must be bearable. Very well. Not in this Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden at their temple. And you witnessed this moment in Melissa says murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Straighten up this instant, young lady. Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole time thing, right? You've seen the witness come out and seen us squeeze the truth out of him. Now it's your turn. It's your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, here we go. The final witness in the trilogy, Maya Fey. It's all come full circle, hasn't it? It's gonna be pretty interesting. Let's go. I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled upon it and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck in the head. I suppose it must have been the staff. Maya, the person who hit you! It was Dolly Hartford, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Ha! Can't say it was especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well, demonstrate. Please complete our examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You think you screamed, but you're not sure. Listen, I was completely wrecked. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that I was my last hope. Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. Can you press her for more details? My last hope. Wait a minute, Maya. Was this my last hope stuff? What? What did you mean by your last hope? No. What you said, I said you said my last hope, huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see when you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me!" Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know. That's like what you call it when it happens. Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh, yeah, I Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming for help. Ah! What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to that slip out. Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure what you're saying? Behind that attacker there's another person? I meant to keep that part secret. What have I done? Ha. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things to try to hide things in this chamber. What's next? The information you just presents is vital to this case. I want you to add your testimony. I could see a man behind the attacker by the light of the stone lantern. A man? Stone lantern, that statement. Here we go, Here we go. So there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Tenuxium, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed a huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, the stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There's no light anywhere in the garden that night. No! Order in the court for Mr. Gadot. Explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of the coffee. Stir. That's the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait. Is that even legal? Cafe au lait? Mr. Tright's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I have a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, you know. You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness' mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? Is there truly no light in the garden? Then there's a fatal contradiction with this last bit of testimony. Nick. May I? Recall the witness statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman or adult or child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, the would have been the Maya actually saw our mystery person. Despite it being so dark, she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No! Odd! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Maddie, are you looking like that for? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer in the pitch black conditions? Mario, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen the dark? There was no other light source in the scene. There are some things that you can see only in the dark, Mr. Gadot. Maya, what did you who the killer was in the dark? And now, you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Ha. You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It's pitch black. You can see the witness. I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you got. This is the person that she saw. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself who it is possible, yeah? What? But how do you propose to do stuff like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the license cord be turned off. It can't be! Huh. That was a nice bit of deduction. right. It was him! The scout, it was him all along. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw the night of the murder. On! Prosecutor Gianna, what is the meaning of this? Hi, Mario. Oh, Mario. Cutie. Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question to ask the witness, that's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? You saw that night. Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. For Maya. I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. What? Witness, Mr. Wright, what the... Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... The killer. Just a few more testimonies. Oh, boy. Here we go. When I came to, I was just lying there in the training hall floor. But the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. What? Since the person that did all the work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. As Mr. Gadot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, because most killers are usually men. Sure, they're woman killers, but, you know. Mr. Wright perceived the cross-examination. Woman killers are just as nasty, if not worse than men killers, because woman killers can actually, you know, are more cunning, if you think about it. Both are cunning. Wait, what do you mean torches were lit? The torches were lit? Yes, that's how I noticed the whole scene had changed. I'm going to say, but what's the killer? I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them so it's possible any cover up in the dark. However, if that's true, the thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how you could take advantage of the killer. No one who could have seen anything would be the person that was in the temple, Maya. Very well. Let me hear some of the conditions of the crime scene. One, two, three, four. All the snow around the landstone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Wait, what? Hang on. So you're saying that the killer cleaned up the snow? It did really look odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape about the lanterns. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use. Ah, a fellow indeed, this killer. Well on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Did it say the victim's breast had the snow? Yeah, the area had collapsed and ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that was bothering me. If the killer wanted to hide the snow on it, then why didn't it just remove that amount? That's true. You could just scoop the snow that is stained with blood. It looks like there's some mysteries behind this issue, but I think this will help me explain. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, well, I saw the crime scene. I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Except for the Maya part. But really, that's pretty much it. Everyone else knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that that's why the killer cleaned all the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was just for the sake of the killer clean up all the evidence of what happened. Present the stone lantern. That's the only part that wasn't cleaned up, though. It wasn't cleaned up because you couldn't see it. Gee, I wonder why you couldn't see it. The body of Elisa Nuxia was carried all the way to the Husqueta Courtyard Temple. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime. The snow that suspected was covered in blood was scooped up and removed, and a reason to believe that this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. And what would that be? You must have figured out by now, Mr. Gouda, the message written in the blood of the lantern. It was written very clearly in the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't he wipe the writing off the lantern? Ha! You're right! Mr. Wright! Isn't the fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Mario, come here, my boy. Indeed, but it doesn't make such sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then that weapon that must incriminate anything of all, the bloody writing. The blood. But if that's the case, do you have any explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Oh, I do. It's very simple. We already seen it. Like, minutes ago. Basically like an hour ago by now. Move the body, remove the snow. Basically like an hour ago by now. Body riding in the snow. I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's the fact that the killer left the writing in the lantern must be the reason for that. The killer didn't notice it. Whatever it may, it's supposed to be truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that the crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they would have left the bloody writing in the stone lantern on purpose! Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would have missed that something as glaring as that. You're right. There's no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missing the bloody writing altogether. And would that be? The person that failed to notice the bloody writing? Kind of obvious, isn't it? Here you go, it's kind of obvious. Mr. Gouda, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with the huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can't see everything. You can't see everything! Is that correct, Mr. Gouda? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it first presented. This lantern! There's something written on it! Why is it written in blood? Nonsense! This lantern is clear as a whistle. He didn't even notice it, so that's why, because he's blind, colorblind to red. Mr. Gouda has admitted there's certain colors you can't see, correct? Colorblind to certain colors, red exclusively. Even though his visors are red, which is really funny. Can't see red on the white background, can you? That's right. We went this once before, during the poisoning case in Tres Bien. Yeah, this is what I was mentioning. And I brought to life from this bribe was right at the time. I've somehow spilled coffee on it. There's something still bothering Mr. Gouda. Why still have not explained a bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood color stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. Not told me anything about a bloodstain. He didn't even notice the red, so he can't see red and white. See the coffee in the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Ha! It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. So what's interesting is that if you're colorblind, you know what's funny is that Armando actually had red shirt, and he has a blue shirt. So if you think about it, it changed colors completely. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Gouda, are you admitting it? That you're admitting that you can't see red writing on the lantern? Or the red lantern, or the red torches, because they're red too. But they're easier to see because it has black on it, so it's kind of easier to see. Hey, Gramps, didn't you know that's the reason why you don't drink red tea? I wasn't sure about it until now, but I can't just believe it. Prosecutor Gouda is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Gouda, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elisa Nuxium, also known as Miss Misty Faye. It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up the distinct fact about you. Huh. Just make sure you don't fill out any indictments writing Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into a killer? Besides, it's not like my name's Desiree. Dahlia wrote that though. I observed that the killer was able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trite. The answer is right there in the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all out of the snow, Your Honor? You said it yourself. He wanted to hide the bloody snow. Why not just take that area? Yeah, why did he take the... Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that he has seeped into the snow. And so he had removed all that snow. He couldn't be sure where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Is it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? No, not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems. Although once again, the show has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Gadot? Oh, bro. Oh, boy. Wait just a minute. Maya. What is a witness? Mr. Gadot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after the old bridge got fixed up. Maya. You can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I may not look like it, but I am. But eek! After that murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you seeing now, old man? We established this just a little while ago. Dahlia Hartford, after the murder, witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hartford. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me have my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Gallo no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. This means we're going to hear the whole truth. I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trite. Very well, let's hear her testimony. Please tell us what happened at their temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too. After the incident, Pearlie was also stuck in the inner temple side by that night. The next morning, she looked around, but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in a spare prep room. That's when Mr. Gatter arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first, and it cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? It's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a little while ago when I was at the medical office. I'm terribly sorry. But what you hear from someone else is simply not admissible as a testimony. What? Come on! Pearlie will never lie. She's always more honest as a person than will be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe that witness. Mr. Gata, let's just move on to cross-examination if the defendant has no objections. This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, let's get the cross-examination started. Let's go. Here we go. After the incident. All right. Number 5, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cheered her up. That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Gata. And here I was thinking he was nothing more than a coffee addict. Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't many places to look at the inner temple side. The police were all busy looking for the garden with the fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Gata style. In the same way, I like to hand out my verdicts in my own way, Jet style. Maybe I should ask my questions Phoenix style. Gato's investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation did your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by hue of aroma of Western taste. Western taste could find a way to the stranger way to describe gravy. Western taste. Usually shit. Usually a mix of both shit and good. It's kind of complicated. So from where you headed to prep room? Wait a sec. What did Gato just say just now? I think I just found a proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of importance here. Where Gato when the murder was taking place. You must have already been in there at the temple when this happened. Otherwise, you could have had killed those next to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. The gravy-colored hanging scroll. Here we go. Mr. Gaddop, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made out one fatal slip-up on hanging scroll in training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Gaddop's right. The scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderful delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more of a condiment than a culprit. Well, Mr. Gaddot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. That's true. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess the picture of Misty Faye there. True, but Mr. Gaddot described what underneath like this, clad in her stunning Japanese garbs and about a hue of aroma Western taste. Oh. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing, Mr. Gaddot, on the day of the murder. You were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it's all rests on certain assumption. That I knew beforehand the crime was going to be committed. That's right, otherwise there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Gaddot know about the crime. Huh? Mario! What did you say? It's really not a person who did about... Possibly not a person who did the plan. The burnt letter. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye offered a plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in the Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before the Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was going to take place at the inner temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Gaddot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. 2 hours in, damn. Really wanted to know. He had one great chance to find out. Yes, when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Faye had told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. You eavesdropping on a visit to the detention center! Yes, it would be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Gaddot! Order! Mr. Gaddot, you're under fire again! This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the one who confirmed the crime information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bitched. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness in his coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer of this case eavesdropping on the conversation during the jail visit. He learned the hidden plan of the crime. After discovering the plans, he hid the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. That ultimately took a person's life. And he did all this just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I would have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go to protect. I think I know why. Because she's a sister of Mia. And as you see, I'm certainly not the type of rescuing damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. It is certain that the killer wanted to protect his witness's life. His behavior is still a tool of natural. Mario, what are you looking at that for? However, if you said you had a good reason to mention Mr. Gada, then an unshakable reason that you forced to protect the witness at all cost. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover Mr. Gada for the same reason, huh? Oh boy! Okay, Wright, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of the whole story. One person is connected inextricably together. Mia Fey. There's one very good reason why Maya's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That's when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Gada is a defense attorney? With your honor's precinct intellect, you must have figured out by now the real name of this man who calls himself Gado. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. Of all this related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Fawless killed himself. Mia's Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Falls. Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I can never forget Dahlia Hartford. Mia and I finally investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered! 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned! Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hartford slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. It was just a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a really number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently it was a miracle that I've ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew. But one morning my eyes flew open from the smell of the doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I already lost everything I had thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed. The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia Hartford! Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. It's just so sad. For someone like me. For someone who had slept away their best days. There were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, your 2 reasons to live? What are your 2 reasons? The first was you, Wright. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would have never died, much less the way she did. White, you were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die, Blanco. But it was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. Her other reason for living, she goes by the name Maya Fey. Huh, you mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Korean village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as the prosecutor put me in a position to put something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought I could do that. I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Edis of Huskura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed help from Edis. She was to take the fall on the back of plan in case we couldn't control Pearl. But how to contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master de Korain had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fey still with a great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you. Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always? That's why. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, take a look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day her plan was to be carried out would rise soon enough. We met for the first time at Huskura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fey, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. That's one hell of a mom! My mom would do the same fucking shit. My mom, honestly, my mom is probably more crazy, honestly, though. My mom, like, my mom would literally straight up be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fucking kick your ass. Not kill, but like kick your ass. She wouldn't kill, but she would like kick your ass. You know what I mean? That Latina moms, you know what I mean? No, the crime. There's just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. That's one hell of a mother if I've ever seen one. You mean Pearls, don't you? You had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia harmfully. Well, Pearl, what are you gonna do tonight? Well, because she clearly knew already anyway. If you like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. I meant to say. Fuck, can't read or do my impressions. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up. She was worried and followed me into the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Misty Fey had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia harmfully into her own body. What? What do you mean? She channeled spirit first. The Pearls would have been able to do it herself. As the Master of Karai, Misty Fey's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia harmfully so that Pearl Fey wouldn't be able to. Ah! What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fey. That's why I hid myself in the inner temple. Just in case you needed to save from Dahlia harmful. Got it. Diego. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Trait. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to the incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are any two suspects right now. Maya Fey? And I'm sad to say you, Mr. Guerra or Mr. Armando. Mr. Diego Armando. It literally is two first names, so it's kind of like, as Hispanic, it's literally two first names. Like, first off, Diego and Armando are names. They're first names. Armando's usually not really last names. Usually, so basically, he literally has two first names, not even a last name. I don't even know if it is the last name. For real deal, like maybe a Spanish sense it will make sense. Like, for example, maybe like what? Diego, like what? Diego, like Vasquez? Ortiz? I know stereotypical is better than nothing. It's a real deal. Then to finish this once and for all. Shows beyond the shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick, please don't. I will. Maya, I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Gadot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me, too. Maya, I know that. Nick, but even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? There we go. The final fucking testimony. Oh, God. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she was stuck in the back of the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out, and the whole area was dark. Just that moment, there was a horrible scream. But after that, Dahlia collapsed, and I lost consciousness. These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but they disappeared all of a sudden. Things break trite, even the best of furies. Who was that to stab Misty Faye? Looks like he still can prove it. Maya isn't telling the truth. She's telling the truth this time, I know it. Press it all to me. Let's go. Final cross-examination! Whew. We're nearly done here! Oh, God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, let me see. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press it. Mario, your hair splattered all over my fucking phone, Mario. So you mean just that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? Mario, you little fucker. Then the scream came from the killer? That's gotta be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. Then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction. There's a contradiction, though. I'm sorry I gotta say this, but the interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. Because he would literally stab his entire fucking brain out. Makes deductions are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony before the killer let out a scream? Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Ah! Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with the sword that was already stuck in the body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. The dagger, huh? If you're sure about that, then keep us waiting any longer, trite. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back of the staff, what else would strike at that killer? The dagger, of course. Of course it has to be the dagger because... I mean, come on. Naturally, the dagger killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that was right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found it in the morning and brought it to me. Buddy! Kuka, whoa! Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well. But because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood and dagger could have been from the victim. No, it was actually not the victim's. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must have... It was blood. Blood. The killer must have wounds somewhere in his body. So you're saying that this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Gadot, it would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Wright. Order in the court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Even if he won't be able to change the results of tonight's fixed test. Ha! Let me ask you something, Wright. Let's just say that tonight I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think of it. The dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There's already blood in it, correct? But even so, it was the one who brought this dagger here in the courtroom. Yes, what does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and implanted another person's blood on it. That can't be! In any case, there's one thing I guarantee, Wright. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What?!
Bro! No, it belongs to you!
Hidden even, it seems to establish that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness. Wait a minute! What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya! Stagger, you said it wounded the killer? That's right. But if Mr. Gata had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should have been bloodied and ripped in them, right? Maya. Maybe he just changed his clothes. I solved the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? That's not simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone was still in the inner temple inside trapped there. Ah, that's right. Once the bridge was fixed, police had to take the temple. Mr. Gata was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Ah! Damn, we got fooled. Order in the court. What the witness says is true. Well, maybe he brought his clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought to change of clothes? Dude, she took smart pills during the last recess. Took some smart pills, bro. Well, then maybe the killer took off his clothes before they committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. He'd be naked. That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes of no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Ah! So that's all you've got? I know you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on his case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Wright, can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused us of being a killer, but can you prove it? Is there any piece of evidence? The question is whether I can prove it or not. It's the fact that I have to prove it. Yes, I have. As I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you wanted. Ha! That's good. Fight her till the bitter end, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence, you can prove your point. Why don't you unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Gata? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, right? So what do you like time like this? Simple. I've got to think and approach it different angle. Alright then, we got one thing I've demonstrated in previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded and pricked with the blood of the dagger. But we said it was impossible for him to have this wound. It had been cut dagger. But wait. There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wounds. What did you say? Hidden? It's actually pretty simple. This is it. It's my last stand for the frame of his clothing. I can show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. Final stop. Try to see what you got. The killer hid the wound. In his goggles, of course. I don't know what you're talking about, and frankly, I don't need to know. And what do I know is you'd never be as half as lawyer as she was! Isn't that right? Right. Oh, this moment, bro. What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, You're still hiding that wound. It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off to the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face! Mr. Gata, would you mind removing your mask? If you have the dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved! I don't want to do it, honestly. I'm just didn't bother when I didn't want to bother with that. Oh god, 2 hours and 30 fucking minutes. God damn, this is long ass shit though. Dude, this is a long case. This is a long trial. 2 hours and 30. Oh god. Let me add the credits. Let me ask it. Oh. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago. You helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living a pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I had never forgiven you. That's what I thought, Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was myself. Was me. Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind the mask, threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya! Yeah, that was my plan. But up until just now anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get to the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. And you know why? The real reason? No, why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into the situation I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong! You put your life on the line to save Maya! Was it really for Maya's sake? I'm not even really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hartford standing there in front of me. It could have been Miss Faye, or even that little girl, but I still picked up that blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. I wasn't really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye. Or was it something else? The revenge for Dahlia Hartford. Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't even know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that moment, I understood everything. Mr. Gadot. Diego. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound! It's bleeding! Ha! Did you forget already? It's my world. The color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Tears? Bloody tears. Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando. You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lurk can cry is when it's all over. His wise words. Alright. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant. Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I was willing to cooperate anyway. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize? To me? For what? For the case 5 years ago. The course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister? You only met twice. Huh? We only met twice? The first time you met was that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria in the very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way! It can't be true! I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hartforn wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia? I hope one day you can forgive me. Fanny. You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because the police investigation under surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at the moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already had so much answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place? But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. And so she tried to kill you. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. And she killed Doug. That was a bit strange, wasn't it, Schwarno? Until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. Partners in time might be my last Let's Play, who truly knows? Teaser for next Let's Play, who knows for sure, I'm not sure. I might do Partners in Time, because man, I want to do that game. Holy crap. If you guys want me to. If you guys want me to do Partners in Time, go ahead and ask me, because I was getting playing with you for a while. I did the last year about a year ago, but I want to do the actual Let's Play, so if you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? Feelings for you. If I found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. Iris. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you too. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hartforn was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. Woo, baby. Damn! Oh, God! Okay, this case is nearly over. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup of ink I've ever had. I don't think you. Do you think so, Phoenix Wright? It's coffee. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule the murderer for the victim, at least in Nexium. At some point, I expected to be tried for the role as your accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of that murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty! Oh, God. Court is now adjourned. No confetti, but... Whoo-wee, baby! Not exactly a celebration just yet, but we're getting there. Oh, God. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hands. Of course justice was served. Mia! I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there as today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. But Mia? You accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again. Someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases, I've seen lots of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick? Maya? I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this was what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Edie's too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper after what's happened? You were brutally attacked? You even saw your mother murdered? Ouch! Francisca! Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright. Excellent work, Wright. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Helping you? And these two haven't been in on the first day of the trial? It's funny. The defense wouldn't have gone anywhere. Wow. But were you, Nick? I had him down to the river and got a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his bed fever with Edie's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca. I don't suppose. There's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry. What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. But I realized that Larry was never any of use to anyone, not even once. That's not true, right, Nick? What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh, yeah, those portraits you painted. They were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? When are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that I lack any resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well too? Yeah! My makeup must be kept at a mere crayon! Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it as worth something. Then you'll do it, like you promised? You're going to bottle for the next picture? Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good, too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls. Where should she have gone? Normally she would have been maybe line for Maya. Huh. I'll go look for her. I'll be right back. Hey, Pearly! Right? You seem to be uncharacteristic puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya could be seriously what's been all this happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly a time when she needs to be as strong as she can be. What do you mean, now exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she was. I believe it's the person that Maya was trying her best not to cry. Someone was hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand who. Yow! The damn it, Phoenix, right! Who is Maya Faye being stronger for? Pearl, of course. Pearl was the one that basically, like, Pearl was kind of the one that, was initially part of the plan. And, just, I don't know. It was all for Pearl. The plan was all for Pearl, but, the poor kid, after all, the reason she had worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. Even Morgan was a bitch. It's for the good of the Faye clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Man, almost 3 hours and holy fuck, I can't believe it. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. Aw, I can't, fuck bro. But it's cruel irony that it was your exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya's Faye's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Hey, Gumshoe! Alright, this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we've got to put out! What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, this and that. Anyway, congrats to your win. What's out tonight, pal? Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's alright. I made a reservation at the first-class French restaurant tonight. Yeah! Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean Tres Bien. Where else? I knew it. We're dilled. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep nagging waiting, pal. Hey, you crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be loser stacked potato. Maya's taking a long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearlie? I can't find her anywhere. Huh? I'll bet she just went back home, that's all. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This hasn't happened before. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go up ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls. Nick! Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We'll have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're ready to— Ah! Very well, Phoenix, right. I'll go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't. But where should we go? Look, where would Pearlie have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I think Pearls might have gone to. Back here. How's go to temple? For pearls, I bet it's a very important place. After all, this is where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini! I thought we might be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here. Pearlie is here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Pearl's not here. Ah, Maya, the hanging scroll. Someone cleaned it off. It's got to be Pearl's. Ah! Mystic Maya! Pearlie! Why? Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault, Mystic Maya's mother. That's why you came here. So the least I could do to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearlie. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make yourself feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is all thanks to everyone who was there for me. my sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. Even if you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all those people that weren't there for when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini, your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring that good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die. Which was that day, funny enough. Cruel irony. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die? That's the master's talisman! The thing that Misty kept her heart and would never take off. And it wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. See what's inside. That's the photo. Ah! Mother. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. How do you fight for it? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors for those who are constantly challenged by the question. That's a cute picture. I love it. That's so cute. They're the first ones to break it. That's adorable. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connected us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate that we've overcome today. But I still can't... Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back from more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for three when you come back. Alright. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing that I don't get. And I probably don't want to, but... What is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do a special course naturally. That's a great idea after all, Mr. Nick. You'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even the hot and hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know. I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well, then, here we goes nothing. Objection! That's it! Oh, God! End of a trilogy. End of this game and the entire trilogy. The original trilogy. We're done! Damn! It was a long one. It was a long one. Oh, boy. Okay. So, anyway. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm kind of sweating a bit because it's kind of getting hot in here. Maybe it's the dogs on top. Maybe it's the dogs on my lap that's making it hot. I don't know what it is, but it's hot in my fucking room right now. Oh, God. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this entire trilogy and the Let's Play. If you guys enjoyed this Let's Play and the other 2, if you guys were with me. It's the end of a trilogy. Hope you guys enjoyed all 3, or if you guys, or this one, if only this one, if you watched the other 2. Hope you guys enjoyed all 3, or just the entire trilogy all together. It was probably my longest project so far. This is my longest project so far to date. My longest project when it comes to Let's Plays so far. So far, it's probably my longest one. An entire trilogy. In like under a span of 2 months. in under a span of 2 months so far. In under a span of 2 months. Whew. In under a span of basically 2 months. That's basically how long it took. Around that time. Nearly 3 months. Damn. Oh god. What do I think about the Ace Attorney trilogy? The original trilogy in this game? Well, it's, this game is just... I freaking love it. Like, I love these games. I love the first 3 games. They really do have this just... I don't know how to say it. It's hard for me to... I'm not much of a reviewer. It's hard for me to say. It's really hard for me to say it. But, oh god. I really did enjoy this. I really did enjoy doing these, this trilogy. I really did enjoy it. And I hope you guys did too. I hope you guys enjoyed the trilogy too. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun to do. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, I'm glad. I'm happy that I could, it made someone entertainment. You guys. Our motto is cut it out, please. Okay. Beside business. Damn it, Ron. But like, I just have no real words except thank you guys so much for joining me in this entire Let's Play and the trilogy and the entire trilogy. Thank you guys so much for being there. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I really did love this entire doing this. It was genuinely fun, especially with doing the voices, trying to do some different voices, different interpretations. It was genuinely fun. As for my next Let's Play after this trilogy, after this is done, well, I have a few games in mind, but actually I think I'll list them. I already have a list of which ones I think I might do next. I have a list of them on my computer. But I'll choose one, but I might have 2 fucking computers. This is the recording one, and then my art one. I have 2 different computers, 2 different laptops. Sorry, I have 2. This is the one I use for recording, and the other one I have for drawing. Yeah, 2 different laptops. That's why you say that it's a bit different, because I have 2 different laptops. It's stupid I have 2 different laptops, but I have 2 different laptops. As for next Let's Play, I am thinking of like, since I already did Mario the Superstar Saga, since my last Let's Play before this is already Superstar Saga, Mario and Luigi game, maybe I might do Partners in Time to finish up the Mario and Luigi games that I can do so far. I could do Bowser's Story, but the thing is that the only thing I could do is 3DS remake, but do I want to do remake? No. I ain't doing the Bowser's Story remake for nothing. The answer is no for Bowser's Story remake. If I had like an actual capture card from like the DS, then I could actually like record on my DS. But I can't fucking do that. Damn, it really do suck sometimes. Maybe, I think I'll be surprised. It'll be a surprise to see which Let's Play I'll do next. It'll be a surprise. I'm not gonna tell you guys. It'll just be a random complete surprise. But since I don't know, it'll be just a complete total fucking surprise. But really, outside of Ace Attorney games, this is probably the only one I'll do for a while. I don't know if I'll ever I don't even know if I'll ever do. I honestly don't even know if I'll ever do like you know, the 3DS games, the 3DS Ace Attorney games. I don't know if I haven't played Apollo Justice though, so I can't do it because it's a DS game. I can't do that. But I don't know about the other Ace Attorney games. I have to play those first in order to get a grasp of it. A grasp. What did I say? Grasp of the, you know, a grasp. You know, I have to get. You know, that's kind of one of my rules sometimes. Is that I like to play games I've usually done before, so I can kind of show you guys things I know and some things that most people don't know, or things that, you know, just for fun of it, because I want to tell you guys, you know, some interesting facts, things like that. I'm kind of like that a little. I'm sorry. Damn, did sound like Toto for me. I don't know why, but anyway. 3 hours! Holy shit! This episode's probably the longest episode I have ever done. Just not stream, episode. So far I've ever done. 3 fucking hours! Fuck, dude. But hey Marty, what's up? But yeah, if you guys want to know which Let's Play I'll do next, go ahead and tell me. But like, it has to be games that I've already have. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys which games I have. But it can't be games I don't have, because, or I can get them myself, but I don't know. But the thing is that I'm trying to get games, like, you know, just kind of, especially older ones. Kind of hard to get, like, authentic experience with. I don't know. Oh boy. So yeah. What else do I have to say about this? Well, I don't know. Except thank you. That's the thing I can really say. That's the only thing I can say except I'm an anti-social artist. Bro, why is this me? God, I feel called out. Okay, anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed this this trilogy and this Let's Play as well, and also the other two as well. Hope you guys enjoyed them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Whenever that will be. Bye.